Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker. And thank you for the opportunity to speak to Motion 511 as brought forward by the member from Banff Cochrane. Our government is committed to building long-term watershed resiliency for flood and drought mitigation by improving natural watershed functions and by engaging Albertans in the conservation, restoration, enhancement, and stewardship of our priority watersheds. Water is one of the most important resources, and Alberta has some of the most significant headwaters in Western Canada. Our eastern slope watersheds are the source of water for 3 prairie provinces. Water flows from the Rocky Mountains eastward to the Hudson Bay, with legal agreements between our provinces for how we share this life-giving natural resource. Water connects us all. Mr. Speaker, we depend on our eastern slope watersheds to provide water of good quality, in sufficient quantity, with suitable timing of flow. Timing of flow relates to the right quantities of water arriving at the right time, rather than a flood of too much or a drought of too little. Water is the common denominator for life, and timing of flow is of special concern to millions of Albertans. When we speak of headwater conservation, we typically think of waters as being in our rivers. Yet the water in our rivers actually comes from the landscape. Precipitation makes its way over and through the landscape on its way to our rivers. And this water runs off the surface or percolates through soils. It picks up traces of whatever is occurring on that landscape, delivering the effects of land use into our rivers, where they can be carried downstream to millions of Albertans depending on this water supply. Whatever we do to the landscape, we do to the water. And whatever we do to the water, we do to ourselves. This is the reason for headwaters protection. Our watersheds are under increasing pressure to serve a growing population, a population that uses more water for domestic and industrial purposes than ever before, while that same population frequents our headwater landscapes with a heavier footprint than ever before, a footprint that includes both industrial and recreational uses. Most of our headwater landscapes are found on Alberta's public lands, lands heavily used by Albertans in 3 main industries, lands also heavily used by Albertans seeking recreational opportunities. Public lands are held in trust by the government for all Albertans. Activities on this landscape matter, particularly as they relate to watershed health. The management of human behavior in headwater regions has a direct connection to securing our water quality, water quantity, and timing of flow. The Government of Alberta is currently taking action to care for our public lands in a way, our headwater landscapes, through an increased enforcement and education presence upon public lands, an increased commitment of fire risk management, investment into campgrounds, and other much-needed infrastructure on public lands, recreational trail repair, and bridge building, management of linear densities, recreational management planning, sub-regional land use planning, completion of a biodiversity management framework, and ongoing oversight of forest management planning activities. Our government continues to fund the Watershed Resiliency and Restoration Program, providing $18.5 million for 35 projects furthering healthy watersheds, many located in Alberta headwaters, to help optimize downstream water security for Albertans. At a time when climate change threatens to disrupt our reliance on known precipitation patterns, it is especially prudent to optimize the health of our headwaters. Well-managed landscapes with healthy watershed systems will help Albertan communities adapt to climate change, in which severe weather and unexpected precipitation patterns become more common. Protecting our headwaters and ensuring our future water security is absolutely necessary for us, the residents in Calgary Northern Hills, or the ridings downstream from the eastern slopes. And in addition to that, our economic prosperity. Mr. Speaker, I'll be voting in favour of this motion because protecting our land and waters is the right thing to do for ourselves and for future generations. Thank you for the opportunity to speak to this, and thank you for the member from Banff Cochrane for bringing it forward.